Looks like we're live, Playboy.
Do it. Oh, look at this. These are new.
What do you got
Pop
there?
tops.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's pretty fancy.
Different.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Estate Power Hour. Hey, we have some great topics today. Buying or selling a house? Is your agent working in your best interest? Ooh.
Good one. That's for Jason.
It is. Awatuki.
Little grill fest over here.
We'll be talking the Took, Awatuki and Taylor Morrison. 800,000. I can't even read my own damn writing.
Let me help
Federal workers. Is it getting worse?
you. It is.
Is it getting worse?
Shutdown's still on, man.
Yeah. Hey, close that door, Josh. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Unusual drop in home sales has real estate agents baffled. Uh-oh. We're going to get into that, too. Also, Redfin announces home price growth reaches 6-year low. Something maybe I've been talking about here for the last few years, huh?
You hit it on the head, man.
Indeed.
No, not even years. Very recent. Last couple months.
Also, Realtor Tour. I'm going to give a couple personal experiences that I've had here recently. One of them is going to be talking about a Realtor Tour that I went on, and just how other agents are. So hopefully none of those agents are going to be watching the show that I was on the Realtor Tour. I'm not going to be naming names.
But you know they'll be able to figure it out.
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe. Oh,
jeez.
jeez.
Depends how bad it is, huh?
We're also going to be talking about the difference of having a professional on your side and what difference that makes, having a good professional on your side, whether it's lending or real estate. So we're going to be talking about that as well. But in the meantime, I think we're going to be getting started. Jeremy, we about ready, boss?
Yes, sir.
All right. So why don't we get Facebook rocking? You got your shares going on? Get that sharing out there?
I didn't know you shared it to me. I didn't get a notification.
No notification. Oh, snap.
Still don't.
Should be on
Oh,
there
there it
now.
is.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
Josh install.
Oh.
All right, guys, we're going to get ready to go here. You ready, Joe? Make sure your headphones should be good.
Give me 1 sec. Okay, I shared it.
All right, guys, we're going to get started in about 20 seconds here.
You see the one share, right?
What do you mean?
On your thing. Testing. Oh, that sounds good.
All right, you good?
That sounds great.
All right, Jeremy, we're ready.
You got it, guys. Here we go. Segment 1, 13 minutes.
Live. This is your Real Estate Power Hour, the longest running real estate talk show in Arizona. Right here, right now, on KKNT 960, The Patriot. Now, here are your hosts of the Real Estate Power Hour, Jason LaFlesch, team leader at Results Realty, and Josh Nastow with Homeowners Financial Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Estate Power Hour, a live interactive show right here on your station, KKNT 960, The Patriot. And we are live, ready to rock and roll today. Got a good show today, huh, Josh?
We are, man. Excited. Great weekend. Got some good football in there, man. Some great games. Super Bowl's all set. Great weather.
Were those the craziest games? Weren't they great games?
That's one of the best championship weekends I can remember. Never 2 overtime games, man.
You know, I knew it with those 4 teams. I mean, just stud teams coming in and facing off. But that ending on the everyone's up in arms on the who dat?
Saints game.
The Saints game, huh?
That's pretty bad.
It's I wonder if that's going to carry through the week and all through next week up to Super Bowl.
Oh,
Who knows?
It'll be talked about.
Yeah, huh?
I mean, that wasn't the game.
Right at the end.
I mean,
that was it.
If that call was made, they score, and the Rams don't really get the ball back in enough time to score a touchdown. But it was still a great game. Unfortunately, that happened. But the Chiefs played their hearts out, man. Just came up short. And, I was hoping that it would be the Chiefs and Rams, to be honest. So
That Mahomes kid, man, has ice water running through his veins, doesn't he?
it's going to be a good one, man.
It's a lot of pressure, huh? Did well, though. He did well. Young kid, rookie.
Great. That was another great game, man. 2 well-matched teams. It was awesome. Weather this weekend was awesome, too. I was out and about in Scottsdale. It was good times. You can tell the valley is starting to fill up for sure.
Did you hit Bear Jackson at all?
Didn't do Barrett Jackson. I ate some dinner downtown with some, in Old Town with some friends this weekend. We didn't go to Barrett this year. Real, busy. We had a gym meet last week. This weekend, I've got a family birthday party and then another gym meet next weekend. So
Good for you. Good for you.
Slammed with kid stuff.
Hey, this show is brought to you by Results Realty and also Homeowners Financial Group and Josh Nostal. Hey, best phone number for you, Josh, is 602-377-1979. We're going to have a great show today. I have some great topics, so why don't we dive right in, huh? What do you got for a market update there, Josh?
Let's jump into it, man. I've got some good stuff here. I want to end with something that might tickle your fancy. We'll see what your thoughts are on that.
All right.
So I would start with rates. We experienced a slight tick in rates this week. Nothing incredibly dramatic. Some lenders haven't even changed. So rates are still low going into the new year much lower than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
There's really only a couple of topics this week that might change rates. There's a durable goods and new home sales report that's supposed to come out this Friday. So keep your eyes on that. We'll talk about this a little bit lower, but 4.99 adjusted annual rate, 4.99 million in December for new home sales. That was the lowest since November of 2015. So we're down in new home sales, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Sorry. This is an interesting topic that will catch more traction in the upcoming weeks. So Fannie and Freddie, it's rumored that they're going to be released from government control. So when there was the big meltdown and things, the government stepped in, and there's some type of parentalship or they call it a convertitorship. I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
So that's supposed to be fizzled out. So that'll be interesting to see. What it did for Fannie and Freddie's stock is it jumped from I don't have the exact numbers, but it went from like a little over $1 a share to almost $3 as soon as they made that announcement. So that's a big good stimulation for the economy. We'll talk about this a little bit later too, but the shutdown is still in full swing. Some of the major places that are, government entities that are being impacted is the IRS, the FDA, and the TSA. So we'll have to keep our finger on the pulse of that. Jobs are still, our unemployment is still amazing. Very, very low unemployment. New claims has continued to fall. So people are out there working. So that's another great thing. So I want to end the market update with something that I'll throw back to you, Jay. What are your thoughts on, and this might not affect a lot of people, but it'll, the realtors that are certainly listening, the merger between Sevrar and Weimar. What are your thoughts on that? Have you heard about that? Are you pretty against it, pro it?
I don't have any thoughts on it, actually. I haven't put two seconds of thought into it. I've been so busy. Thanks for Pearl Harboring me on that one.
No, I wasn't.
What's your thought on it?
I wasn't trying to Pearl Harbor you.
Little sneak attack action, huh?
No, I wasn't trying to Pearl Harbor you.
I don't have any thoughts on it.
So
actually.
I was chatting with a group of realtors that had some thoughts about it. Mainly, what I'm seeing is very positive. A lot of times, so basically, if people are listening, there's like the West Valley and the East Valley are kind of separate when it comes to real estate.
Right.
And there's two separate organizations. So what the sentiment behind combining is two things. One, it will reduce the cost to all realtors across the board, fees, MLS, all that. The other major one, I think this is why they're mainly doing it, is going to unify all the processes.
That was the good part that I heard about. I didn't hear about any cost reduction or anything, but unifying the process, I think, would be really slick between the West and East Valley. Though.
Right, because some people use certain forms on the East Valley versus West Valley, and it can be cumbersome.
Get all on the same page, right?
I think it's a no-brainer, man.
Yeah. Good. Oh, look at you getting into the real estate topics. I love that.
Not trying to throw you under the bus there, bud.
Oh, no, it ain't throwing me under the bus at all.
Not trying to Pearl Harbor you,
I just
say.
never thought of it because we never deal with the West Valley Association at all. Yeah. It's all then, Southeast Valley.
You've got some West Side deals we've done.
We do here and there.
Not a ton, but
no.
I think combining the organizations will also make it stronger. More and more numbers.
Just consolidate it all, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of weird that the Maricopa is separated that way.
Yeah.
How is California? Is it the same way or no?
I'm not sure in California if it is or not. I'm not sure. I would imagine it's got to be broken up quite a bit just because of how big California is.
How many counties are there? Jeez.
Oh, for sure.
How many people?
Yeah. Hey, we had a realtor tour last week.
Nice.
Week and a half ago that was extremely successful. So we had two of our homes in the Bridges on the tour.
Was this a Gilbert tour?
This was a Gilbert tour, yeah.
Nice,
So there were 10 or 11 agents. And it's interesting when you meet with other agents to see, who's actually full-time in real estate, who's part-time, and who's got connections. So here's the thing. We're going through these homes, Josh, and there are some nice homes, but then there's also homes that, and these real estate agents go on these home tours so they can show their home off and get feedback for their sellers. Okay?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more that goes into it, but go ahead.
So, yeah. So there were a couple of the agents we go into the homes in, and they're just, the homes themselves, as you walk up to it and go through the home, you're like, wow, there's so much that could have been done to update this property. So then we're having the conversation of, Mrs. Agent, did you talk to your sellers and suggest to get some of these things updated? I mean, just as little as touch-up paint, simple stuff. And it's interesting that most of the realtors that we talk to do not have connections. They don't have any subcontractors they work with. They can't give any of that added extra value whatsoever. Whatsoever. So then the next question is, to this one particular real estate agent is, well, then if you don't have the connections, what about your seller? I mean, could they have done something to update this place or anything to get top dollar for it, or would they rather just sell as is? Because she had it priced to where it's darn near a remodeled price.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, no, this thing's got to come down 35 grand. No, it wasn't. And I said, well, what about them handling some of the work? And she goes, well, I just don't trust their judgment on what colors to choose, what to put in. They said that they didn't have any connections either. So think about that for a minute. That particular seller is just completely dead in the water as far as what they're going to sell it for. The home's been on the market 120 days, still no offers.
It's like they're rolling the dice.
Yeah. So
120 days?
120 days it's been on the market.
In the Bridges?
No. Oh. This is another community. This wasn't one of our homes, yeah.
No, I'm not saying your home.
Yeah, someone else in Gilbert.
Somewhere out in Gilbert.
Right. But I guess the point is we talk about it at Results Realty all the time on how much added value it is to where when you are selling your home, if there's things that need to get done. I mean, before the radio show, I was just over at a Val Vista Lakes property that we're listing this weekend, where it needs a ton of work. The outside windows had hard water stains on it, so I'm over there with my drill and a buffer, and doing the old solution that gets rid of hard water stains, by the way, which is baking soda and vinegar.
Oh, wow.
So you mix it together to where it's like in a paste, and then you get a buffer, you put it on the buffer and just, you start buffing the window down.
Someone told me that's good for oil stains, too.
Probably is. I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, that's awesome, man. and then you were just throwing another bone right before the show. You were on the same property working with the contractor that you have out there, that you procured, I'm sure, and trusted.
Yeah.
Trusted contractor for years. The seller didn't know probably.
Right.
Just
Both
doing
Daniel and
tiny
Romero.
stuff.
They're out there doing all the paint, all the handyman work. So what we ended up doing on this particular home to update it a bit is we took all of the brass, the early mid 90s brass door handles and door hinges, all that's gone. So now it's just a neat oil rub bronze, which goes with most of the home inside. So just a real clean, rich look. Updating vanity fixtures, updating faucet fixtures,
Nice.
putting all the door handles and pulls on all the cabinets. So, but it really updates the home
Oh yeah.
for very little money. And these particular sellers are in Hawaii,
Oh,
and we're handling it all from here.
aloha, huh?
Aloha, that's right.
Well, what else did you think of the tour? I have some thoughts about them because I host one twice a month.
I want to hear what you hear
Some
and see.
some of the realtors are so rough. And
No, they are.
And they're so catty.
Yeah.
And kind of, I don't want to say jealous, but a lot of them want to win that home, the best home on tour.
Yeah.
So it's do you see that?
I want it.
Oh,
This
yeah,
last
so-
week I want it.
But some people, I mean, were you? I mean, did you go there to? I want to win and badmouth other people's property.
No. I just know that, and this is something that I realized right out of the gate once we're going to each home, is that Results Realty, we really do put in the effort to get our clients' homes looking the best. And the last 3 realtor tours I've been on, we've won best home on tour because when people go in, they're like, it's darn near spotless, turnkey, clean, ready to go. But
Yep.
that's all about coaching your sellers.
Same thing. That the home we were on, it wasn't the biggest home. It wasn't in best community,
Right.
but it was put together the most when you walked inside. Everything was clean, new appliances. One.
It's the way it should be.
Yeah.
In fact, the one that won the best home on tour sold the following day.
Nice.
It's the one on Blue Spruce, 3939
Oh,
Blue Spruce.
I remember Blue Spruce.
That's right. Hey, when we come back, buying or selling a house, is your agent working in your best interest? Stay tuned for more of the show.
I'm gonna get water. You want?
Yeah, please. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Mike, that's close like the camera. How close the dang thing is on my face. I'm going to widen it out a bit. Look at that.
They got rid of the front desk lady.
What?
Was that just one episode? No.
Yeah,
We haven't done. That was one.
that was just one.
Oh, that's a long one though.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
This damn Zoom zooms in far. I'm going to see if I can widen it out. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Much better. All right, you ready? All right, Jer.
Here we go, round 2, 9 minutes.
Hey, Facebook Live, who's on right now? Say hi. Welcome back to your Real Estate Power Hour. Jason LaFlesch here with Results Realty, your full-service real estate brokerage right here in the Valley of the Sun. For all of your real estate needs, we get it done. 602-369-4663. If you want a free market analysis on your home, we do that. You want us to come out, you're thinking of listing, I can have a look at your property and see what it takes to get it sale ready to get you top dollar. If you're looking at buying, yes, 25 years experience here in the Valley. I can get you the best value on your property. Big time negotiating skills, working on your behalf. And the best part when you're buying a home is my services don't cost you a dime. The seller pays me. Right, Josh?
That is correct.
Indeed.
And it's a great segue though to the next topic
It is.
because sometimes you get paid by both the seller, possibly, and the buyer.
Indeed.
Correct.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Buying or dual agency. Although if it's dual agency, when you're representing the buyer, the seller still pays.
Correct.
Yeah. Hey, so buying or selling a house, is your agent...
Well, good point. Yeah, very good point.
Yeah. Is your agent working in your best interest,
Best
Josh?
interest, yeah. So another, I'm not trying to put you on blast or Pearl Harbor you, as you shall say, but just wanted to put this out there for people that are thinking of, buying a home, because, we stress it a lot. Having a realtor on the buy side is so important right now. I can't tell you the stories of people that just lose interest because, the realtor, you can't get it done. They can't get under contract. They just decide not to buy. Happens all the time.
Right.
So there was a poll done by the Consumer Federation of America agency. They're a survey company. Basically, only half of one of two people polled felt that when they sold or bought their home, that the realtor had their best interest in mind. It goes into more topic about necessarily what we were talking about, dual representation.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know this. Not all states allow that.
No, they don't.
No.
No.
I thought
there's a lot of risk involved in it, so...
Yeah. So
because of what you're talking about.
That's the kind of what we want to kind of spitball. I didn't realize that only 40 states and Washington, D.C. are the only... there's 10 that don't allow it at all. Just say, no way, you can't do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, dual representation or dual agencies when basically you're representing the buyer and seller.
Mm-hmm.
And, the survey was talking about in that instance, what are both parties really trying to do?
Get the best value, best deal, one way or another.
One party's what? Trying to sell the house as
for
high
top
as
dollar,
possible, right?
The other one's trying to buy it for as little as possible.
For as cheap, right?
Right.
So how, let me throw that question to you. How do you balance that?
Well, it's a good question. There's got to be value in it, and I think if there's so many different techniques on how to wrestle that steer to the ground. But
wow, that's a new one.
But if you're selling,
that's a new one.
Yeah, if you're selling, the only thing you can do is you can present the offer. If the buyer is, now you can kind of school the buyer in regards to the property that, hey, it's priced this way because
right
of A, B, C, D, and E, right?
You would know so much more about it.
Right. So you just kind of build the value of the, and obviously if the buyer's looking there, they're going to like the neighborhood. They've done their research. And if they haven't done all their research, I'm going to provide them with some interesting research in the neighborhood as well. And it's just a matter of making it make sense, right, Josh, for the buyer, for a certain price, and then they submit the offer, and that's it. And then you just work to a amicable.
Totally makes sense.
Put your minds together.
There's lots of other. As kind of you alluded to, there's lots of protections out there. They have to sign forms specifically for that type of transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're blindsiding them.
No. That's all known up front.
Correct. And here's some other things that kind of away from the dual agency that kind of helps you determine, hey, is this the right realtor for me? And I think this one is probably far and for one of the top ones. Is the relations that you're having with your realtor straightforward? Is all of your questions being answered up front and the facts? I think going, if whether it's you're just representing the buyer, having a realtor that knows what they're talking about, is straightforward, can give you the details, that's got to be the most important thing.
Well, and to tail off of what you're just saying right now is one of my downfalls, or maybe it's a really good thing, is when I'm working with my buyers, we're going through homes, a lot of them say, just to give you an example, they'll go into a home and be like, wow, I really like this, this is neat. Well, I could be the type of guy that says, and just agree with them. Hey, no problem. But if there's something that I see, like for example, this home that a client, first-time home buyers, they loved it, went inside, kitchen was great, and it was like the great room setup where the kitchen is open to the family room. Well, it was not only a family room, but it was one big space where it was a family room and then like an eating area. But the family room area where you would set up your furniture was kind of small, I guess, and the eating area was like way big.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't a very good use of space.
Not
So all I did
not
was bring it up.
proportional,
Right. And all I did was bring it up and just say, hey, Vanessa, let's just take a look at this. Like, what would you do with this area? And her answer was, we're just going to do a nice big table and some kind of like the invisible shelf wall unit type things, where you don't see any brackets below. You just mounted them up there real nice, so it
Right.
looks pretty trick on the wall. And then that made sense to me. But if she didn't have an answer, because at first they were like, oh, interesting, that is big. You're not just going to set the TV in the middle of that huge room that's just kind of oblong. So that's one of those things to where I've talked people out of sales because it just wasn't the best for them. You got to point out the things to your buyers, I think.
Well, you must have read this article, because that's one of the second things is your realtor giving you the best perspective on the property.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And another thing is I don't want people, just because they're qualified, I know you see this a lot, Josh, in the lending industry, just because they have their debt to income ratio is 45 or 50, whatever it is,
They're maxed out.
it doesn't mean spend every last dime.
No. And,
So be smart.
And a lot of buyers get that, but you're right. Unfortunately, there's a sector of buyers that want to max themselves out to the brink, 49.99.
Right.
Hey, I want the $400,000 home when I should really be looking at the $300,000 home. But then you have the flip side of people that realize, hey, the clients I know that kind of get that, they don't start with price. They tell
Right.
me, hey, here's the payment I want you to tell me I qualify for.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How much time left, Jeremy?
What do we got, Jeremy? 1 minute.
Uno minuto.
Bueno, senora, that was good.
And then I guess the last one, and this might not be as important because you would think that most realtors know this. Whether they're selling or buying, the realtor should know the regulations around that transaction and make you feel comfortable as if they're knowledgeable with the regulations and the laws behind it. So those were the three things that really went into, is your realtor have the best interest? Are they straightforward? Are they giving you the correct perspective on the transaction, and do they know the legalities behind it?
And the next segment, we're going to be talking about the difference having a professional on your side makes. So that's a perfect segue right there, Josh. That was a great topic you had.
Man, we're just really reading each other's minds here.
I like it. Hey, what's the best number to get in touch with you?
602-377-1979. You can hit me up anytime.
For all your lending needs, Josh Nastal at Homeowners Financial Group. And then yours truly, Jason LaFlesch with Results Realty, 602-369-4663. We'll be back in a few. That was good, you guys. What's up, Lackey? Jen Lackey, Union Home Mortgage. Ooh, should I have said that out loud, Josh?
I don't know, you just did.
Just for
that.
Facebook Live.
Appreciate that, pal.
Lackey. What do we got here? Just going to apologize to all the Facebook Live viewers when that thing goes super close on my face. I know it's not the best looking thing ever, but deal with it. All right, Josh, you ready?
What are we gonna hit here?
The difference having a professional on your side makes.
And is this a short one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
6 minutes. So you think we'll probably won't even get through that?
Yeah, we'll get there.
If not, let's shoot over to. You want to do? I could hit any of those really.
Which one do you
Maybe
think?
Ahwatukee.
Ahwatukee?
Yeah, maybe we'll go with the Ahwatukee if you want.
All right. I'm going to cruise through this pretty good here. All right, Jer.
We ready for it?
Yep.
Here we go. 6 minutes.
6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. Welcome back to your Real Estate Power Hour. I'm Jason LaFlesch with Results Realty. This is the third quarter of your show.
Man,
We're rifling through this quick.
Yeah. Man, speaking of third quarters, I've been watching a lot of basketball.
Yeah?
And I start my league up tonight, so wish me luck.
Really?
There you go.
Is it a fantasy basketball league, or what is it? Or are you actually playing?
That's grabbing the bull by the, what did you say? That's grabbing the steer by the horns. Man, geez.
Yeah, I've never seen you so red.
Jeez,
What is
how
the deal?
embarrassing.
What is the deal?
Oh, man, I say I'm going to go play some basketball and I'm in a fantasy league. I can still dunk it, buddy.
But hold on a second. You just had the walking boot off a couple months back. Are you back at it?
I did. I'm back at it. I'm going to give it a shot. I've been running
Jeremy,
a
did you
little
see
bit.
that? It just completely,
That was pretty good.
I've never seen him so red.
That's hilarious. I'm laughing my butt off.
No, you are a good hoop player, that's for sure.
And another thing, I wanted to throw that out there because I'm not. This isn't a sports show, but
Yeah.
Announced today, Larry Fitzgerald will be back for another season.
I saw that. It's great.
Very
16th
exciting.
season, man, right? 18th or 16th? 16th?
And he
36 years
I don't
old.
know if you heard, he hit a hole-in-one while golfing with the president, Barack.
I did not hear that. No. Did he really?
Last week they were golfing and
Dude's a stud.
hit a hole-in-one, man.
Wow.
You ever had a hole-in-one?
I have.
I haven't.
I had it at the desert. What was the name of it again? They closed the. Why am I blanking right now? It's on the Vegas Strip. They closed. Oh, the Desert Inn golf course.
Really?
Yeah, so they closed it down years and years ago. But it was the par 3, 7th hole, 162 yards, 8-iron, right in the jar.
That's a fairly long. It's not a short par 3, man.
That was back when that was years ago. But I've had 15 eagles on par 4s.
Wow.
Which is darn near like a hole-in-one.
Yeah,
Because those are fairway shots.
I haven't had 15, but I've had a few eagles, but I've never had a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty cool.
We've seen one.
Yeah.
We saw one together.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
We did. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was a dude that we know.
You knew him, yeah. You knew him pretty well, I thought. But I up until that day, I had never seen a live hole-in-one.
That was pretty awesome.
he-
On the hole we sponsored.
He went berserk.
That was cool. That was cool. Hey, so the difference having a professional on your side, what that does for you. So in today's fast-paced world where answers are a Google search away, is that the same thing in the lending industry too?
I think that's coming into about any industry.
Yeah.
You can do so much research.
Yeah.
And the answers at your fingertips, like you alluded to.
Yeah. There are some who may wonder what the benefits of hiring a real estate professional to help them in their home search are. The truth is, with the addition of more information comes more confusion. So we have a lot of people that we do talk to that want to do the for sale by owner, but then it's like, okay, who's going to write the deal up for you?
I could see that.
Who's going to, and I'm going to get into this here in a second. So, but you got shows like Property Brothers, Fixer Upper, and dozens more on HGTV that give many a false sense of what it's like to buy and sell a home.
Those aren't real shows?
No, not at all. Did you always think they were? Kind of like your fantasy basketball you're starting up this
Yeah.
week, dog?
Those are all fantasy shows. Huh?
Right. Now more than ever, Josh, you need an expert on your side who's going to guide you towards your dreams and not let anything get in the way of achieving them. Buying and or selling a home is definitely not something you want to do it yourself. So many people think they can do. Here's a few of the reasons you need a real estate professional in your corner. There are over 230 possible steps that need to take place during every successful real estate transaction.
230?
That's what they say.
Whoa.
I think I'm going to ratchet it down quite a bit from there. Let's just get to the major ones. You need a skilled negotiator. In today's market, hiring a talented negotiator can save you thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of dollars. There's one in particular. It's a land purchase for one of my clients. They were asking $178,000. We ended up negotiating them down to $155,000.
Wow.
So that's a $23,000 savings, about 15% off the asking
That's
price.
huge, man. Congratulations.
I think it's huge.
Heck yeah.
Each step of the way from the original offer to the possible renegotiation of that offer after a home inspection, we hear that all the time,
Yep.
to the possible cancellation of the deal based on a troubled appraisal, you need someone who can keep the deal together until it closes.
That's so important.
We do that all the time at Results Realty.
So important. I mean, I know we're probably not going to do everything, and I'm trying to cut you off, But those two things is, I would say, where 90% of deals die.
And you know what? Those are the two major things in the purchase and the sale of a home. So I'm just going to kind of leave it there. There's many other things that I can go over when it comes to helping you sell your home or negotiate the purchase. We're just a quick phone call away to help you out.
Well, I know we were short on time, but what is your strategy to keep a deal together when there's a rough Binzer? Open communication, way you present it. What's your? I don't know.
Well, it depends if you're the buyer or seller, so we may have to get in that in the next segment because there are two different ways of looking at it, whether you're representing the buyer or you're representing the seller. As a matter of fact, let's get into that in the next segment. Stay tuned for more of your Real Estate Power Hour. What do you guys think on Facebook Live? What do you guys think? What are you doing after this? You get anything to eat? Getting back to work?
Oh yeah, back to work. What do you got going on?
I got to get back to that Val Vista Lakes home and check that out.
Yep, there's some good places to eat over there, man.
Whole bunch of.
I can give you some good restaurants over there.
Let's see.
Yeah, what is that going on MLS?
Jason Mergenthal, you still watching? He goes, buffing the windows with baking soda and vinegar. That's the agent I want to sell my property. Top dollar. Yep. Dave Rendon. All right. You ready to do this?
You know it, sir. Ready for the final chapter?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, 1450.
Hey, welcome back to your Real Estate Power Hour. I'm Jason LaFlesch with Results Realty, and this is the longest running real estate talk show in the Valley of the Sun. 15 years this year, Josh Nastal.
15 years.
How do you like them apples?
It's a long time, man.
It is a long time.
Man, I'm just curious what the show was like back then, man.
I'll tell you, I can answer that question.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
I was sitting in this seat right here on KKNT 960.
Not at Money Talk, huh? This is where it started.
It was right here.
Ah.
Right here. As a matter of fact, Jeremy, the producer, was here back then. So I think he had a little more hair back then, didn't he?
15 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while. But I'll tell.
What pick did you get in your fantasy draft? I'll just bring that back.
Look at this guy. The producer's got jokes.
So, believe it or not, if we were drafting for my team, I would be number one, Jeremy. Believe it or not.
You can still dunk. I want you on my squad.
It's not the dunking anymore, though, because I've lost a little step since I'm almost 40 years old.
But like Jordan and Kobe, the fadeaway now.
No. I just use my brute strength.
Boxing people out.
My game is. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I'm at the rec, I'll shoot the three, because that's unusual for me. But I'm still good at that. But in the leagues, I'm down low, banging and grunting and
Emphasis on grunting,
making it happen.
Yeah, if I got switched down low with you, I'm in big trouble.
All right, focus.
Man.
I know basketball is cool. Focus.
Hey, I didn't bring it up.
Hey, you know where it started was KKNT right here in 03 and 04, right when the investor business was really happening. So we would do this show live on Saturday and take calls, and we would get 12 to 15 calls every show.
Nice.
Jeremy remembers that. I mean, the phone lines were lit up because people were asking about homes, and they were calling from all over the nation. So they're listening to it, streaming live, and
That's
calling
awesome,
in.
man.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
We get a lot of the online questions. We haven't had any much call-ins. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good times. Good times. Hey, so in the last segment we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about, as far as me, I don't know, maybe you can give your insight, but most of the deals that I see die, mainly, I don't know the exact, but I'm just going to say about 90%, in the inspection and then the appraisal.
Right.
So, you know, you're doing a lot of business right now, you're super busy. How are you keeping these deals together? And you said there's two strategies based on buying and selling.
Well, yeah, and so most of our business are sellers. So I list a lot of homes, and we get back what's called the BINSR, which is the buyer inspection seller response form, after the buyer has an inspection done on the home. So that's stage one. Once we get past that, then the lender, or the buyer, they order the appraisal.
Correct.
Right? So the inspection, that's the big hurdle to get over. So we'll get what's called the BINSR sent back, and that'll list the items that the buyer either wants fixed, or they just accept the premises as is. But most people put several items down to get fixed. Some could be major items, some could be small. So as a seller representative, we go over that in detail, and we're like, you know what? These are items that we can fix. Easy enough.
Quick question, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I hear a lot of, and you know, I kind of know the answer, but I'll throw it out there. Sometimes there's warrantable items that are on there.
Right.
Now, are those items that have to be fixed?
Well, I mean, what do you, does it depend on the loan? Let me ask you that.
No. So for people listening, the BINSR is never seen by the lender. You
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
So and that's on all loans.
Well, here's the thing: is that when it comes to fixing items, so if it's an FHA loan, or if it's a conventional loan, so FHA loans, you got that FHA inspector that comes out there, and there's a lot of items that will need to be fixed.
Sure.
If it's an FHA loan versus a conventional loan. So, and that's why a lot of the homes that we have that are built in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, you're a little hesitant to accept a FHA buyer
Sure.
because it can be tough.
Yeah, I mean, they're tougher. They're just, and here's the thing, there's just they nitpick a little of the smaller things more.
Right.
I mean, any appraiser is going to pick out glaring things.
Right.
But for example, you know, they're big on peeling paint, which, you know, that may not be a huge deal, but it kind of sucks sometimes.
I've had it on the last two FHA deals.
There you go.
The
See?
stem wall.
Yep.
Like the peeling paint and then up on the eaves.
Yeah, so it's not,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an easy fix. It's
Right.
a super inexpensive fix.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's little things like that. I guess when I talk about warrantable items, like let's say roofing issues, I mean, does that come up a lot or?
It does.
Okay.
It does. And a lot of those issues, we end up fixing. If there's a roof leak, we'll get Jason Von Payne out there. He gets up on the roof, removes the tiles, removes the underlayment.
Sure.
Fixes the plywood and gets it all fixed up.
Nice.
So there's some items that you gotta fix.
What are deal killers, would you say?
I would say if they're asking for far too many things. So a lot of times what we do is we negotiate with the buyer's agent, with the buyers, and we say, hey, listen, instead of us fixing this laundry basket full of this laundry
Items,
list
sure.
full of items, we'll offer a credit in lieu of fixing those items, and then they can do it after they close at their whim. Because a lot of times the things that they're asking for are over half of them they're not going to do anyway after they move in. They just figure they're going to ask for them up front, right?
And you know,
It's just another way to negotiate.
a lot of times they'll the buyers use that for their closing costs. Oh, almost every time.
Right.
So that's a win. That could be a win-win. What would you say? You know, is generally, a normal list 5-6 things.
Yeah, 5-6 items. I mean, it's if some outlets aren't working. I mean, you can get into
Sure.
so many items.
So let's say you get past the BINSR.
Right.
Everything's done.
Mhm.
Appraisal gets ordered.
Okay.
And let's say you come in 7,000 short of what the purchase price was.
So the appraisal comes in 7,000 less than what purchase price is. Well, then you're up against a little bit of a wall there. It's one of two things. Typically, is either the buyer's got to come in with that difference, the 7,000, and put 7,000 more down, or the seller will have to lower the price by $7,000,
Or you're done.
or you're done. I mean,
A lot of times the buyers don't have that cash, and a lot of times that puts, from my side, obviously I deal with more buyers, that puts a uneasy feeling in the transaction.
Right. But here's what we do with appraisers, or at least what I do, is the appraiser, before they go out and appraise the property, they email me. So then what I do is I send them a full list of the options in the home. Because a lot of options they won't be able to see. For instance, our home that we have sold right now in White Wing, it has a Control 4 whole house automation system in there. that maybe the appraiser wouldn't notice,
Sure.
but it's a $35,000 ad,
Unless you point it out.
unless you point it
Now,
out.
does that come from some of the new home sales that you did, you think?
I think it just
No.
comes with, working outside the box and going above and beyond for clients.
Gotcha.
And then providing comps as well, possible comps, to
Now-
the appraiser that he could use or he doesn't have to use either.
Now,
so.
do you meet the appraiser on every deal or no?
Typically, I don't know.
Typically not. Okay.
No, but you can
You make contact with them, though.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
make contact for sure. Hey, let's shift gears here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awatuki, Taylor Morrison,
Yeah, so,
the Toque.
yeah, the Tuke. We always talk a lot about Gilbert in East Valley, so I thought I might shoot a shout out to Awatuki. So, like you, I did a tour over there, and I found out some real interesting things. Mainly, Awatuki is made up of really 3 zip codes: 85044, 85045, and 85048. And this gives a lot of different details on each zip code. Most expensive, median. Homes are selling for a lot in 85045. I mean, the median sale price there is just under $500,000, 499 in 85045. So that's a great market to be listing homes in.
Awatuki sells quick.
Very quick.
It's a good spot.
Very quick. Now, keep in mind, now this is the average days on market. It says 84, but there's homes in there that are 4.7, and those homes don't sell in 2 days.
No, typically not. No.
So keep that in mind. And people might say, oh, that's a long time. Well, those $5 million homes don't go overnight. Here's why I wanted to bring that up. All 3 of those markets, they give a little detail on it, and it's a slight seller's advantage in all 3 of those markets. The market has been cooling over time, and prices plateaued for a while, despite the consistent decrease where sellers, are buying in certain zones. So I thought that was interesting. It's still a slight seller's market over there, and they're feeling, in certain zones, a lot of downward pressure on price.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've been talking about that, not just in Awatuki, but across the board, that you're thinking that there's going to be a shift from and it just says slight, so that makes sense. It doesn't say it's a seller's advantage. Slight advantage for the seller, but as prices possibly drop, you think that's going to kind of plateau out and become more of an even playing field?
I do. I think it's going to be a very healthy buyer and seller market. You can't continue with what we've experienced from 2009 to 2014 or 15, with the 5, 10, 15, sometimes more,
Right.
Appreciation per year on properties. If we can get back down to that 2 to 4%, 2 to 5% ish, maybe landing in the 3 to 4%, that's a very healthy real estate market. So
Right.
I like it.
Absolutely, and one of the really interesting things on this was, and it's unusual that you would end a tour with a new build, but there is a new community being built past where Pecos dead ends. So it's interesting. You want to drive out there. They've blasted through a mountain out there.
Is this toward Eastmark area you're talking about?
No, out by Awatuki.
Oh, the Toque. Okay, yeah.
It's
Where
out
the
by
freeway's
Awatuki.
coming through.
Yes. So it's interesting. They've blasted through a mountain to build the freeway
Yeah.
through, and so we're basically Pecos dead ends.
Yep.
You get off there and you drive over another kind of small mountain or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see the additional construction of the 202,
Mm-hmm.
and Taylor Morrison is building a new community out there.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's called the Promontory.
I did not know that.
Starting in the low 500s. Very interesting. There's, I believe, and I don't hold me to this because I only spent about an hour out there, but I believe it's only 109 homes.
It's got to be built up on some elevation a little bit, huh?
Very
Views?
I don't know the word, but multiple elevations. I mean, there's homes that are super high,
Okay.
and there's
Okay.
some that are lower. The ones that move down closer to the freeway are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But there are views everywhere. I mean,
Wow.
you're in like kind of like a valley.
Yeah.
In one of the back in one of the hills, you know, and the freeway is fairly close to some of the homes, but they built I think it was like an over 18-foot sound wall.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what goes on out there. If more people are gonna start building from the West Valley in, you know, kind of from that Levine area, kind of in to kind of close that gap, because I mean there's nothing else out there.
No, that's going to be nice when that freeway kind of heads straight north,
Yes.
right into town. I mean, you're going to be minutes from downtown from that location.
Yeah, it's gonna drop you in. I want to say
51st Avenue area, right?
I wanted to say between 50 and 70th, right in there.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
right about 51st Avenue,
You're probably right.
right past Levine there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Interesting.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. Wow.
That's been going on for a while.
Hey, if you're thinking of buying new out there, I'm talking to you, the listener, right now in your car.
Check it out.
Give us a call. You don't want to go at it alone if you're buying a new build. We are experts representing buyers on new build properties.
Probably more important than ever to get a realtor going into a new build.
It really is, because the new build agents represent the seller, the builder. So 602-369-4663 is my number. I'm Jason LaFlesch with Results Realty, sitting here with Josh Nastall with Homeowners Financial. We had another great show today, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, we'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Say it with me. See ya. Hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Always reach out to us, 602-369-4663. And yes,
Go ahead.
I do answer my phone.
Say it.
Who knows if it was on me the whole time?
Rod's calling.